We're going to start with this question today. How many times have you asked yourself this question? Why is it so hard to lose any weight? Why can't I just lose a few pounds? Like these are the common questions we get all the time with our clients is, I just want to lose 5 pounds. I just want to lose 10 pounds. Like, why can't I get that scale to move? Is that next diet going to be your miracle solution to all the struggles and problems, that you're trying to get that scale to budge, right? Like, what do I need to do just to get that scale to move or get my clothes to fit better? Working with thousands of clients over the years as a registered dietitian, it doesn't seem to be a lack of desire that is causing people to not lose weight. More than ever, people want to lose weight, right? There's something else going on. The sad truth to this is that the excess fat doesn't build up overnight, right? Like you don't wake up the next morning, all of a sudden you're 15 pounds heavier, right? It accumulates little by little, things that we're doing or changes that our body's making that's causing that weight to kind of come up, almost sneakily, right? Like you don't realize it until all of a sudden you weigh yourself and go, oh crap, I'm too heavy or I gained 8 pounds. But we also can't expect that it's going to disappear overnight. And that's the biggest thing. We jump from diet to diet, trying to find that solution where we're going to wake up the next morning and all the ugly fat's going to be gone. It just doesn't happen like that. We have to understand that it didn't come on overnight. It's not going to go off overnight. And once we understand this, as well as that there are 6 fat burning hormones, as well as one organ that essentially controls the effectiveness of those hormones, right? That organ controls the effectiveness of those hormones. Once you understand how to activate those 6 fat burning hormones and optimize that organ, you're going to find that fueling your body becomes much easier. Your body functions much more efficiently, and you actually start to lose that weight. It's because when we become deficient in certain nutrients, essentially our bodies start to break down, right? We start to not operate as efficiently as we should be. Well, do you think that fat burning is your body's highest priority when it comes to if we're already deficient in nutrients or we have other things going on that are more important to our long-term health, right? Fat is not an issue to our bodies. Our bodies would prefer to have more fat than less fat, right? It's kind of like a safety net. So, those hormones pretty much get pushed to the side. This organ that I'm talking about is our liver. And when our liver doesn't work right, or it's not working as like it should, then our gut doesn't process and digest food like it should. Our hormones stop functioning as well as they could. And like I said, not only do we end up with digestive problems, weight gain, loss of hair, and a host of other health issues, those 6 fat burning hormones actually pass through the liver. Well, think of it like Monopoly, right? They have to pass go. Liver is go. Well, again, if we have bigger, more pressing issues going on in our body that our liver has to take care of, it's not going to let those hormones pass through. It could care less about those fat burning hormones. So, we have to understand that, yes, and the big 10,000-foot view, eat less calories, burn more calories than you eat, and you're probably going to lose weight. In a perfect world, yes. We unfortunately don't live in a perfect world. So, we have hormonal issues, we have environmental issues, lifestyle issues, things that are going to affect that weight loss, even if we are severely restricting our calories, right? And speaking of that, you could eat so few calories that you slow your metabolism slow down so much that you're just not going to lose that weight because your body essentially thinks it's starving. It's going to go into protective mode, which ironically has to deal with a hormone called leptin. So again, we're back to the hormones, right? So our body shape is actually influenced by our hormones. And there's certain hormones that control where fat is placed on your body. And, think of this as, we kind of hear these phrases, right? Oh, an apple shape or a pear shape, right? That's kind of where this body type comes from. But there's more to it than just being shaped like that. There's certain hormones that are actually influencing that shape. When those hormones become dysfunctional, then you end up with fat being stored in the wrong places, and it becomes very difficult to shed that excess body fat. What I want to explain to you today or show you today is that there are four distinctive types of body types, or what I call body weight problems. They all have different clues to what is going on inside our body. So we're going to go over them real quick so you have a better understanding of maybe what type of body type you are, and then we can discuss how you would approach losing weight with that body type. Oh, and I forgot to silence my phone. All right, silent now. So our first type is an adrenal or android body type. And with this body type, generally you have like sagging or hanging fat over your waist. And, we talked about earlier, like with the liver, right? Well, if the liver's stressed or you're stressed, the body tends to store more fat around your vital organs because your cortisol levels are actually too elevated. And when that happens, you tend to store more fat around your midsection. You also tend to trigger your hunger hormones, which means you're going to eat more than you probably should. And, when these adrenal glands become stressed, this causes you to also store fat in your midsection, again, around those organs. We call this intra-abdominal fat. And when it continues to store fat in your midsection, that's when you start to see it kind of sag or hang over your belly button and waist, right? Or over your, belt, and so forth. So that's the first type, body type that we tend to see. A second body type we see is what we call ovary body type. So your gynoids or ovaries. So this is where fat accumulates around your hips and thighs. And you have like, probably a lower stomach bulge or what people would call a pooch under your belly button. But this usually tells us that there's some type of ovary problem that needs to be fixed, or, the hormones related to the ovaries. We also typically see this type of fat. We refer to it as cellulite, or the slang term of like cottage cheese, right? And the reason we view it this way is because this fat tends to be closer to the surface and just under the skin. So it gives it that dimply look. A third body type is thyroid body type. And when your thyroid gland is out of whack, fat will tend to accumulate actually all over your body because the thyroid hormone goes into all the cells in your body. You're not going to just store it in one section or the other, but it's going to be spread out and distributed pretty equally over your entire body, not just one location. The final body type would be liver body type. And many individuals who actually struggle with losing weight have an inefficient liver. Again, I said earlier about all 6 fat burning hormones have to pass through the liver for them to function properly. Again, if your liver's not functioning properly, you're not going to have those hormones pass through, which means you're not going to be burning fat. Obviously, that's just one of the big side effects of an inefficient liver, right? Is the weight loss, but it's trying to detoxify, filter, and based off of if we're putting other harmful chemicals or things in our body or being exposed to it, the liver, has an important job. It has like over 200 reactions or every single day that have to take place for you to just survive and live, right? So when your liver is inefficient, fluid and systemic inflammation start to build into the sac around our abdomen. So this creates fat storage, fluid and retention, gives you more of what we would call like a pot belly. And you tend to see this more in men, where they have that pot belly or that firm, hard belly. That's more of a liver body type. It can still happen with women, but you don't probably see it quite as often. So, now that you know the 4 body types, right? You now have to kind of figure out, all right, which one of these body types do I most fit, right? And based off of the body type that you have, you're going to approach your weight loss a little differently than someone else that, has a different body type. Don't think that just because keto works for one person, it's going to work for you, or that intermittent fasting works for your friend, it's going to work for you. Sometimes it does depend on the types of foods that we're actually eating, not necessarily how or when we're eating those foods. So, that's a big one to look at. But most importantly is, this is how we attack the core of the problem, which is the hormone optimization. Once we can get these hormones functioning correctly, excess fat starts to fall off. So if you're unsure of which body type you are, or maybe you're, a little of 2 different body types, feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss how best to figure out which approach you should take to get that fat loss, achieve that weight loss that you've always wanted. And most importantly, not every diet fits everyone. So you may be unique from even your husband, right? And or your sister or whatever. So just because someone's doing something that's working for them, don't just jump to a program and assume it's going to work for you. Let's figure out first what type of body type you are so that we know which foods you should actually try to avoid that are going to create more inflammation or create more systemic fluid and things like that, right? As well as which foods do I need to include because they're going to help those hormones work a little better, which means my liver functions a little more efficiently and I eventually, and successfully lose weight. So hope this quick training helps you out a little in regards to determining where you should be starting with your weight loss journey. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be glad to help you and make sure you get on the right path.